No Men Are Foreign. It's written by James Kirker. James Kirker is a prolific English poet, translator, and a travel writer. As the picture depicts, you can see various men and women from different culture, different people from different tradition, from different culture. But in spite of being from different background, from different culture, in spite of sharing different culture, we have something in common. That is our life. That is the life bestowed to us by God. So this is one of the beautiful poems written by James Kirker, and let's begin with the poem. I'll be showing you a few pictures that depicts the life, that depicts the common life that we all lead. Though we are discriminated, though we discriminate each other on the basis of gender, God has created everyone as one. Nobody is different. All are alike. And this poem gives us the message of universal brotherhood that we are going to learn in this poem. My dear, no men are foreign. We all are humans. The poem begins and ends with the same line, that is, no men are foreign. The poem No Men Are Foreign is about the universal brotherhood. All the people on the earth are alike because all breathe and feel in the same way. The poet says that people should not differentiate on the basis of caste, creed, gender, or religion. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. So everybody is born the same. There's no difference between any human being. We all are alike. We are the same person working day and night very hard. We toil day and night in order to earn our livelihood. We breathe in the same air. You can see people working, in the mill. So, what do you visualize when you see this picture? We all are united. We work for our country. We work for our countrymen. And nothing can stop us from toiling day and night when it comes to our family, when it comes to our community, when it comes to our nation. We all are one. Our hands are one. Isn't it? God has not given, hands different to us. It's all alike. It's the same hand with which we are working. We are working hard. Now here you can see the picture of soldiers. These are the soldiers from nine different countries. The uniform worn by different soldiers are different, but the human being is the same. Isn't it? They are dressed, they are clad in different uniforms, but the skin beneath them is same. Isn't it? The human being beneath them is the same. They're all alike. They have the same hearts. They have same emotions. They are not different from each other. They are the same human being. So God, again I would like to say, the Almighty has created us all the same. He has never differentiated between us. It is the human psychology. It is the human mindset that forces us or somewhere persuades us to differentiate and create differentiation where we live. This beautiful nature, we share the same land. In every land is common life. Remember, we are not strangers to each other. We ourselves have created barriers for each other. We are all alike. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. And everybody understands each other. Love is the thing that can change the life, isn't it? Nothing can be won by war, but everything can be won by love. So love each other. as we are not strangers, we are not foreigners, we are not strangers to each other. We are all human beings, first of all. So let's go through this beautiful poem written by James Kirker. No men are foreign. Have you ever thought of some people as strange or other countries as foreign? We have many ways of thinking of other people as different from us, as them. They may belong to a different country or speak a different language. In this poem, however, the poet reminds us of many ways in which we are all the same, we are all alike, for we are all human beings, first of all. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Nobody is different, nobody is strange, he says. Beneath all uniforms, so he describes the uniforms, the dress that we clad, and it has two meanings, my dear children. Okay, first, you can associate soldiers of different country to this uniform, even if they are in different uniforms, even if they are clad or dressed up in different uniforms, isn't it? But they are the same human being, they have the same skin color beneath their uniforms. As well as the uniform here refers to the dresses that are not same that we people or the people across the world wear or dresses themselves up with. So beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. So we breathe in the same air like ours. They also breathe the same air. Those strangers whom we consider, those people whom we consider as strangers, as foreigners, they also breathe in the same air as we do. The land our brothers walk upon. Next, he says, James Kirkup says here that they are our brothers. We are the one who have, created these kinds of discriminations. And we have, erected these barriers. These barriers may be our mindset or it may be the borders. Once these barriers are removed, once these borders are removed, we all are alike. We are one. God has never differentiated between us. For him, we are all one. So like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this. We share the common land, okay, in which we all shall lie. And one day we all shall lie in this earth. William Shakespeare has well said, if we have our entrances, we also have our exit. The person who is born on this earth will die one day. He has to die. And it is one of the greatest truth, or you can say eternal truth of life that cannot be denied. And this is one of the brutal fact also, one of the brutal truth which we all must accept. So why do we then differentiate between ourselves? Why do we differentiate between our brothers, those who live or are considered to be foreigners or strangers? They are not strangers, he says. We are all one. We share common thread of universal brotherhood. Next, he says, they too aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvest, by wars, long winters starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor and not different from our own. Next he says, they refers to those people who belong to other countries, whom we consider different from us. We call them foreigners, we discriminate them and fight with them also. The poet says that the nature has bestowed us with all the kinds of bounties that it has. With sun, air, water, fresh air to breathe in, pure water to drink. So many things we are bestowed with, but still we fight. And what is the result of this long war? We starve. So if we starve, There are people on the other side who starve in the same way. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. They have the same hands like us. They have to work hard like us. And then the poet says that even their hands are the same as ours. They work very hard, just like we do. He's giving all these examples to convey to the reader that there's no difference between us and the people belonging to another country. We all are one. Further, he says, remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. Strength here refers to power. Hitler, if you remember, isn't it? Nobody can win this world by hatred or any other kind of vices. But this world or anybody's heart can only be won by your love that you share with them. He says, the poet asks the reader to remember something. He says that we should keep in mind the people of another country whom we think to be our enemies have been bestowed by God with similar appearance like us. God has given them eyes which are similar to us. Similarly, He has given them strength which we can win through love. So, He really advocates the power of love that must exist on this earth and which we have really forgotten. Everybody is after winning the things by force or by power. But remember, as I told you, nothing can be won by force or power. It is with the true love that you can conquer anyone's heart. Okay? So remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. So that is the common life we share. If we suffer, they are also the sufferer. If people die in war, that is nothing but the curse on this earth. Enmity is nothing but the curse that we suffer from, because it results in nothing but loss of precious and valuable lives. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Now he tries to bring forth valuable virtues in us, saying that hatred will lead to nothing. If we hate them, we are hating nobody but hating our brothers. Because as he told that we are not strangers, we are one. We share the same land. We are all alike. It is ourselves that we shall dispose. We are doing nothing but, if we are hating them, we are hating ourselves. We are going to lose our peace of mind. We are cheating ourselves. We are doing nothing. We are swindling ourselves. Remember, we who take arms against each other. So he reminds us that if we take arms against each other, if we hate each other, we are hating ourselves, because we are hating humanity in turn. So be a lover of humanity, my dear children. So during a war, both the parties have to bear the loss, and that is why the poet says that war is not in our favor. Okay, it just leads to destruction. He says that whenever we pick any weapon against someone, we should remember one thing, that we are alike. Okay, so if we hate someone, we are not doing a great work, because we are hating humanity, which is nothing but again a curse. God has not made any difference. between anyone. He has not differentiated anyone. So who we are to do so, isn't it? So next, it is the human earth that we define. So with war, we gain nothing, but we pollute, we defile, isn't it? We defile our Mother Earth. We should keep in mind that whenever we pick weapons against any person, we make the earth dirty. Because weapons kill people and their bodies which fall on the earth make it dirty. It is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air. Many innocent people die. Just they are the victim of our hatred. Isn't it? That is everywhere. Remember, no men are foreign and no country strange. These dead bodies accumulate on earth and it makes it impure. The fire of war which erupts, the smoke that erupts, which comes, the dust which fills the air, it just pollutes the purity of the air. With all these things, the poet wants to give us a message that we should not indulge in war. We should try to win over others by love, by our affection. Finally, he ends the poem by writing the first line in reverse and saying that remember, no men are foreign, no country strange. So what he wants to say here, the poet simply wants to say here is that love each other. Before being a Brahmin, before being a Sikh, before being a Muslim, you are a human being. Love humanity. Okay, so he advocates love, spread of love, and universal brotherhood. So next we are going to learn few poetic devices, figurative poetic devices here. First, to begin with, rhyme scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. Alliteration, body breathes. Okay, so you can just see over here, body breathes, BB is repeated, isn't it? See here in the first stanza, okay, B sound is repeated, body breathes, so alliteration. Second stanza, wars, winter, WW is repeated. Fine, so alliteration. Next you have metaphor. Metaphor, stanza 1 again, uniform, refers to the military of different countries, soldiers of different countries clad in different uniform, isn't it? So it is metaphor. Stanza 2, war's time is compared to winter season when people are persuaded to stop. They have to stop, isn't it? So again you have metaphor. War's time is compared to winter season, so metaphor over here. Fine. Now remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. These lines are repeated in stanza 1 and stanza 5. So it is repetition. Fine. So it is used in the entire poem. Fine. So it is used in these lines, no men are foreign, no countries, no men are strange, no country is foreign. These lines are repeated, so repetition. And then again you have enjambment. See stanza 1 without punctuation. There's a continuation of line, okay, to the next continuation of the line to the next. That is, you can see line 2, 3, okay, 1, 2 and 3. Stanza 2 again the same thing. You will find enjambment. Stanza 3 also, stanza 4 and stanza 5. So we have discussed alliteration, we have discussed metaphor, enjambment and repetition. Hope the points are clear to you. This was a beautiful poem written by James Kirkup. I hope you all have enjoyed. Go through this poem, okay? And till then, bye-bye. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.